DJI has released a major firmware update for the Action 2 camera. To find out all the key features, don't go away. Hey guys, Mike here and welcome back to the channel. So let's get straight into what's been included in this firmware update because there's a lot to cover. The new firmware version is version 01.02.10.10 and comes with a bunch of new features including a couple of brand new stabilization modes, power management improvements including a low power mode for recording time lapses, a number of user interface improvements and heaps more. So let's dive right in. This brand spanking new stabilization mode essentially allows you to shoot up to 4K at up to 60 frames a second with horizon leveling, keeping your 4K footage level even when the roll axis is tilted by up to 45 degrees. Currently, the existing horizon steady feature lets you tilt the camera virtually 180 degrees without affecting the image orientation, but that only works in 1080p and 2.7K resolutions, so to get support for 4K is awesome. Another new stabilization mode called Steady has been added that provides a wide field of view with less image distortion. So now you've got Steady, Rock Steady, Horizon Balancing and Horizon Steady. So with the Action 2 now including multiple stabilization modes, how do you decide which one is best for you? Well, this comes down to how you plan to use the camera. Are you shooting action adventure or extreme sports where you'd want more stabilization, or are you using the camera for vlogging or locked off on a tripod where you would need as much or any stabilization? You also need to take into account what image quality or resolution do you want. To make the difference clearer of what field of view you get between each of these stabilization modes, here's a picture that shows you the field of view and level of cropping you get in each of the modes, because as a general rule, the more the software stabilizes the footage, the bigger crop you experience. Unless you're just vlogging and are trying to avoid a crop, I tend to have mine in Horizon Steady the whole time as it offers the highest level of stabilization, but it's worth experimenting to see what works best for you. With this update, the Action 2 will automatically check the IMU sensor and prompt you to get horizon calibration if you need it, but you can also manually set horizon calibration in the settings page if you want to. If you've ever tried to shoot a time-lapse video, you'll know that one of the biggest factors in successfully recording a time-lapse video is battery life. So to allow you to get more life out of your Action 2 camera, DJI has introduced a new low power mode for time-lapse. The mode can be enabled from the time-lapse settings page by tapping the moon icon in the top left corner. When this mode is enabled, the screen will automatically turn off after recording for 10 seconds. If you're planning to use your Action 2 with a new DJI Mic when it's available, in this firmware update they've added a function to easily connect the DJI Mic receiver to the Action 2 front touchscreen module or the power module to start-stop recording by pressing the linking button on the transmitter of the DJI Mic itself. Super handy. This firmware update has also optimized the method of adjusting the zoom. You now have to tap and hold the zoom icon for a short time for the zoom wheel to appear. The reason they've done this is to minimize the risk of accidentally touching and zooming when you didn't mean to. On the Action 2, there are recording limits when you're using the camera depending on what resolution setting and stabilization mode you're using and whether you have the automatic cutoff set to kick in at standard or high temperatures. This firmware update has also optimized power consumption in most of these modes. Here's a quick reference for you to give you an idea of what you can expect, and it shows with or without the touchscreen or power module. With this update, they've added a second confirmation when you're formatting a microSD card. To prevent accidental formatting, you'll now be required to swipe the screen again. This reduces the chance of accidentally formatting your SD card and losing all of your footage. DJI have also optimized the user interface when you're exporting internal storage files, so the camera screen will now lock automatically when you're exporting files from the camera's internal storage to a microSD card. They've also said that there are improvements in microSD card compatibility, so if you've had issues with some of your SD cards in the past, maybe try them again as they may now be supported. To update the firmware, first of all, make sure that you have the latest version of the DJI Mimo app installed. In this case, you'll need version 1.7.12 for both iOS and Android. Once you've successfully connected the camera to the Mimo app, an alert showing the availability of new firmware should pop up automatically on the screen. Just follow the prompts in the app to download and install the firmware. The status LED on the camera unit will blink alternatively red and green during the firmware update. Don't power off the camera or exit the app once an upgrade is in progress. And there you have it, a huge lot of changes in this firmware update. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now, I've been using some pretty nifty lens and screen protectors for my Action 2, so check out that review here, or if you're interested in seeing how the audio quality stacks up on the standalone single microphone of the Action 2, then check out that review here. Cheers guys!